Hi there. How to get back in shape. How can you do it? I just want to let you know a little bit about myself. I'm Cy Rodriguez, and right now I'm 43 years old, and I've recently lost at least 7 pounds last time I checked, and I was kind of out of shape compared to how I used to be. I've always been a person who's been very active, and although I didn't stay involved in a lot of specific sports throughout my life, I was always doing things and challenging myself physically. And in the last year, I was in an accident, and it's been a little over a year now, and I kind of put myself in a position where I couldn't really do too much for a few months. And in that time, I put on some weight, and I also when I started to get back into doing exercise, I really just wasn't performing at the level I was before, but I thought I was doing good because I was doing something. So if you're out of shape, my first proposal that I'm going to make to you about why is you stopped to do things, or you stopped to take care of yourself. Maybe you have kids, maybe you're really busy and other things have taken a priority in your life, or maybe it's just that you're more sedentary than you used to be. So what I'd like to propose to you is for you to start to do more. And I noticed that if I just did little things to start with to get my body moving, that got me in the mood to do other things that were more difficult. And so just really quick, to give you an example, let me just back up here really quick. So, okay, you can kind of see me here, but I started doing things like this. And squats, and then getting down on the ground, this here, things like this, just holding. And so the more that I did these things on a consistent basis, the easier they got, and the more I was able to push myself, and the better my body started to feel. And recently I'm feeling really good, and I just went on a 1.5 mile run. I've been doing a 30-day physical play running challenge, and today I ran for a mile and timed myself, and I dropped 13 seconds off my best time that I've got in this month. And so I'm really seeing huge improvements, and I'm feeling so much better that it's truly amazing. And I can just see pounds dropping off my body, and I feel just better. My overall movement is better, and I attribute that to just starting to consistently do things. So every day I do something, and some days I'll just do some yoga and stretching, and then on other days I'll do more stuff like what I was just showing you, push-ups, going down to the floor, doing some kind of squats, doing some jumps, and mixing up some other exercises that I can think of that are kind of mostly body weight fitness types exercises. But I'm doing handstands against a wall, for example, if you don't have the balance to start with, is a good idea, and just holding yourself in position to build up your strength, and doing exercises that move your body, like whatever you can think of that's kind of going to just get you moving around. And so you do that on the days where you're not doing some kind of yoga stretching, and do it about 5 to 6 days a week. Take one day off where you don't do anything, for sure. But when I say you don't do anything, I mean that you don't do like an actual kind of routine that you started. And you don't have to spend very much time on it. So that's what it's about, just getting back into doing those types of things. And then once you start to see that your body's feeling a little bit better and you're moving a little bit better, I recommend that you get out and you do some walking to start with, if that's what you're capable of at this time. But if you're at a more advanced level than that, then I may recommend that you start off with some sprints here and there, and kind of keep it slow to start with, so you can build up your fast twitch muscle fibers if you haven't already. And also I recommend doing shorter runs to start that are not sprints, like a mile, for example, like I've been doing. And just kind of see what your base is, run it at a comfortable pace, and then after you've run it at a comfortable pace, increase your speed a little bit each time that you run, and just try to beat your own time. And don't worry about what anybody else is doing. It might be good to check with some people you know who run and kind of see what a good time for somebody on a mile run, for example, is, to kind of get an idea of where you're at. But don't worry about beating those people who are really good. Just beat yourself. And so that's another thing. It's about just going past your threshold of comfort into a little bit of pain. And you don't have to go into a lot of pain, just to a point where you're pushing yourself a little bit harder than you have before. So for example, if you're running a mile, then think about your form and everything and how you're running to be the most efficient, but also just make yourself go a little bit faster to the point where you're breathing a little bit harder and you're feeling like, oh man, this is difficult to do. And just practice improving yourself a little bit at a time. And so that's basically it. Start to move again. Just get out, do stuff, move around, and then do it, and do that consistently. And then to really get yourself into a place where you're really feeling better and feeling good, push that threshold. Push yourself into a little bit of pain in doing something with the right movements, meaning don't overdo something if you're not used to doing it at all. Kind of work yourself into it and see what it feels like as you're getting into it. And that's my message for today. Okay, wanted to add something else to the message. You should eat plenty of fresh plant-based foods to get back into shape. And I'm just going to show you what I'm eating here. This is some pineapple. I had a good-sized bowl of it. That's good. So yeah, eat plenty of fruits, especially if you're doing exercise, and make lots of plant-based foods the base of your diet. For example, after this, I'm going to be having some rice cereal, and what rice cereal is in this case is I just blended up rice that has not been cooked. I took the dry rice, put it in a Vitamix, made it into like a flour, and then gets cooked in water, and I eat a really good serving size of that. It's going to be very high in carbohydrates, and it's also got a decent amount of protein in it too. And I started off the day with a green smoothie that had probably about 5 to 8 bananas in it and about a half of a bunch of parsley, and all organic. And those kind of foods, especially during the day, they're going to keep you feeling nice and light. They're going to help your body to recover and repair itself fast. And those kinds of foods in combination with doing physical exercise are great. And you know, get in the garbanzo beans, the lentils, the kidney beans, pinto beans. Cook up the rice, quinoa, millet sometimes. Add some corn and peas into your quinoa. That tastes really good. And you know, use a little salt on it to make it taste good if you want to, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And then and if you really need to, add a little bit of flax oil to it, if that's what's going to get you eating it to start with. And you can back off that. You don't really need a lot of flax oil, but I don't think it's bad to have a little bit of this type of oil in your diet, and I'm talking about flax oil specifically. Otherwise, just avoid vegetable oils in general. And yeah, I hope this helps you to get back into shape. So I'll see you next time.